Hey guys, what is up? In this video I'm sharing with you the second part of my case study where I help Manta Sleep scale up their YouTube ads efforts. Hi, my name is Daryl. I'm the founder of Big Flare, the PPC agency for e-commerce companies that want to scale with paid traffic. Today I'm going to share with you the second part of the YouTube ads audit that I did for my client, Manta Sleep. In this part of the audit, I'm going to cover how to structure your campaign to focus on mobile, a simple script I recommend for e-commerce video ads, how to think about and structure your landing pages, and so much more. Now, before I start my video audit, I want to ask you my question of the day. What are you struggling with in your YouTube ads campaign right now? Perhaps it's deciding the right budget to use, or maybe you're struggling with knowing how to measure success. Whatever it is that you're struggling with on YouTube ads, let me know in the comments below right away, and I promise that I will reply to every single comment. Some of the strategies I'm going to show you in this audit have been split tested with hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of spend. So pay attention, take some notes, because you are about to get schooled in the secret arts of running a successful YouTube ads campaign. Hello and welcome, and in this video I am going to be going through your account and talking this time specifically about creative and landing page. So last time we covered targeting and bidding and strategies like top skimming and bottom feeding, but today we're going to go into the creative side of things, the video ads themselves and the landing pages that we are, or the landing page that we're sending that traffic to. And as I was going through your creative and landing page, actually the first thing that I noticed made me think of another campaign structuring strategy that feeds into the creative strategy as well. And that is, well, I had that thought when I was looking at your device segmentation. So up here in Google Ads, you can go to segment and then you can go device. And this is a really useful way to look at your campaigns in any kind of Google Ads campaign, especially YouTube campaigns. And if we look in here, we start to see some differences in performance between computers and mobiles. So like here, the performance difference is a bit smaller, 1x ROAS on computers and 1.2x ROAS on mobile. Tablets, I kind of ignore that. Like, yeah, they're performing better, but tablets generally are quite low spend, and most people are going to be accessing YouTube either on a mobile or on a computer. So this device segmentation, we really only focus usually looking at computers and mobiles and seeing if there's anything useful we can use there. Here's the next campaign down, ranked by spend. You can see once again mobiles outperforming computers. And here, once again, this time mobiles outperforming computers by quite a bit, like 1.7 ROAS versus 1.15, $20 CPA on mobile versus $29 CPA on computers. And this one, the difference is huge. 2.13 ROAS on mobile versus 1.14 on computers, and CPA of 20 versus 35, right? So when you start seeing differences like this, it makes you think like, okay, so there's some opportunities here where if I just focus on mobile, if I focus that campaign on mobile, I will improve my results overall. Because notice what's happening is that Google is actually spending just as much, if not more, on computers, despite them having lower performance than mobile. Like in this case, Google's spending twice as much on computers and half as much on mobiles, despite mobiles actually having slightly better performance on the ROAS. Same thing here, like Google's spending about equal amounts on mobile versus computer, but mobile gets much better performance. And then this big one down here, yeah, once again, like you're getting 20 CPA versus 35 CPA on computers, but Google's spending just as much on computers. So when you see this, you've got two options. Either you can just go in this campaign and turn off computers, and that's going to improve the performance of this campaign. Or what you can do is you can start duplicating out fresh campaigns. Like you could duplicate this and then make it a mobile-only version, leave this campaign running because remember the maxim of if it ain't broken, don't fix it. This campaign ain't totally broken. So we could probably just leave it running, duplicate it out, and in the duplicate version, just focus on mobile. Turn off computers in the duplicate version and just focus on mobiles. So what I would do is I would look through your segmentation report here, and I would identify those opportunities where a campaign could be performing significantly better if you just focused it on mobile. And then in those cases, make the decision as to whether you want to duplicate that campaign out and create a mobile-only duplicate version, and then slowly scale up that campaign and focus on mobile there, or indeed just take the original campaign and turn off computers. And if you do that, I would definitely add that to the campaign level notes that we talked about in the last video. That's something like really important that you're going to want to know. It's a change that you might want to refer back to in the future if you do that. And then just looking at the account level, looking at all your video campaigns, if we scroll right to the bottom and look at total video campaigns, I mean, overall, it's like overall mobiles just perform better than desktop for you. So with that information in hand, I would be focusing some campaigns on mobile only, and I would really like, we're going to talk about creating better video creative and creating better landing pages shortly. And now that we know this, now that we've done your device segmentation and we've identified this, now we know that as we think about improving your videos and landing pages, we need to think about improving your videos and landing pages with a mobile first mindset, right? Actually, most of YouTube traffic is on mobile these days, and a lot of the YouTube campaigns that I'm running, even when we let the machine optimize the bids for us and optimize the device splits, normally I do see like 60% and upwards of our spend going on mobile. We just learned when we let Google do its thing. But for some reason, like your account, Google's just not spending as more on mobile despite higher performance. And the reason for this might be found in the creative. At the moment, I'm not actually sure, but well, let's dive into the creative and we might see some of the reason for that there. But yeah, what we can do immediately is to start to take control of this and start to force Google to spend more on mobile by taking manual control of the device settings in the campaign. Yeah, talking about creative, let's go to my notes. I noticed, yeah, okay, so let's go over to your creative now. Let's talk about creative. So you've got this creative here. It's your best performing creative, works great, gets most of the performance, gets most of the spend, right? You can see, like this is very common in YouTube, is that Google will quickly find out what is your best performing creative. It will test the other stuff, but then once it's figured out what the best performing creative is, like all the spend will go there. And you see that very clearly in the spend here, like 52K on the top creative and then much smaller amounts. And then sometimes Google does under test, like what we find with the creative testing algorithm in Google for YouTube ads is that sometimes it does just run away with the winner too quickly. So sometimes what happens is you get 52K of spend on this creative, but then some of the creatives down here like only ever had 37 bucks of spend, right? Like, and Google just like 37 bucks of spend is not enough to fully test whether this creative actually performs or not. It's not statistically significant. And the machine does make this mistake sometimes. For some reason, it just gets carried away with whatever creative showed the early signs of being the best creative, and sometimes it just doesn't fully test the creative lower down the list. So one thing you can do is try and identify like opportunities where Google has it might have made a mistake. Like for all we know, this creative here, it might have only spent 32 bucks because it was put in the same campaign as this creative here, and Google very quickly saw some early indications of this creative being best, so it just spent all the money on this creative. And we found this like with our other accounts that we've tested. We found this more than once, which is like where you, and it's the same as the bottom feeding strategy that we discussed with targeting. It's the same with creative. Sometimes Google just doesn't adequately test some of the things that got lower spend overall, and you can fix that by taking this creative and duplicating out some of your winner campaigns, but just running this creative in those campaigns, or just running a couple of the creatives in those campaigns that are lower down the list. Smaller spends, because this is a test, but like if we run these creatives in a duplicated campaign where we duplicate out some of your best performing targeting settings, and then we run those duplicated campaigns with the top spending stuff turned off, that's going to force Google to spend on some of this stuff down here. And hey, you know what? We might actually have a winner down here that we just don't know about because it never spent enough. I am looking at December and January at the moment, so we probably need to change date ranges and look at all-time stats when making that decision. But that's just a guideline on the thinking there on creative optimization. Now, what I actually wanted to talk to you about here is mobile optimization of your top performing creative. So we identified just now that mobile optimization for your creative and landing pages is going to be hugely important. And one thing that you always want to do, which you are already doing, but it's not working for some reason, is you want to take your best performing ads, and then you want to also have sort of more mobile friendly versions of it. And I can see you're already doing that. Like you've got this, your best performing ad here, which is in landscape view, right? And you're doing something which I usually recommend, which normally provides better results on mobile, but for you it's not for some reason, which is this. I see you've got the second version of this ad and you've made it a square version, right? Square just, oh no, that's not the square version. Hang on a sec. You've got a square version of this ad somewhere. Here we go. So yeah, it's great to take your best performing ads and also make a square version, because the square version appears larger on mobile devices, right? It's going to take the YouTube app is going to expand it out and show this in a larger size when viewed on a mobile device. But for some reason for you, it doesn't seem to be working, right? Like we would normally, if we do, once again, handy segmentation, you could segment the view rate of or the retention rate of this ad by device, right? And when we do this, we see something really unexpected. This is your square version of the ad. So this, the whole idea of the square version is you add it in so it performs better on mobile because it looks bigger on mobile when you do the square version, right? But what we actually see is the opposite of what we want to see. Look at this. So here's the first 5 seconds. Then after the first 5 seconds, it actually retains on desktop much longer than on mobile. Look at that. Like mobile retention at 13 seconds is only 28%, whereas desktop retention is 69%, right? So we added the square version to try and mobile optimize, but it actually ended up performing worse on mobile. Why did that happen, and can we fix that? And if we can fix that, if we can create a version of this ad that does actually perform better on mobile, then I think we're going to be winning much bigger than we are right now. So I don't know why this video isn't performing super great on mobile. It should do when you make the square version, it does perform better. One thing that I did think of, one thing we could try here is, it's about the text. So like if we just, okay, yeah, here we go, boom, okay. Now I looked at it, you can't really see it because of this stuff in the way, but when I viewed this ad on my mobile phone, and you can kind of see it happening here, the text is super hard to read, it's really small. And we can try two things with this, right? We can try making the text bigger so that you can actually read it on mobile. That's one idea. I'm wondering if the drop off on mobile has to do with the text being unreadable. Do people see that and then the text pops up and they go, I can't read that, that's annoying, and then they just sort of flip off or they skip the ad or whatever, right? That could be the issue. Or also we could just get rid of the text entirely. Like I know you guys do a bunch of videos on Facebook, and the style of this video with the text underneath, I'm wondering if it was copied over from your Facebook campaign. And like here's a reminder for you, it's like video creative on YouTube what works is a bit different to video creative on Facebook. I mean, a lot of the same principles work, but one of the main differences between YouTube and Facebook video creative is that on YouTube, people have sound switched on. People go to YouTube and they switch on the sound, right? You don't pop open a YouTube video and have your sound switched off because you're going to miss half of the point of the video, right? So it's safe to assume when we've got this video creative for YouTube that people are going to have their audio switched on, which means we don't necessarily even need to add this text. So I would be suggesting, like, I'd test both. I would test your square ad, and I would test it with larger text that can be read more easily on a mobile device, and I would test it with no text at all. Test that in some of your mobile dedicated campaigns. Like observe the performance, like come into the video performance and segment it by device and see if one of those two options fixes this disparity that we have. And if it does fix this disparity, then that version might be the new version that you lead with or on your mobile first campaigns. Okay, so we covered the drop off on mobile of this ad, segmentation, mobile specific campaigns. Yeah, like 70% of YouTube views these days are actually on mobile. And I see, like in most of my YouTube ad accounts, I see that represented in the spend and click distribution, right? But in your account, we don't see that happening, right? We actually see even spend and even clicks, which is a bit unusual because most people these days are actually viewing on mobile. So mobile specific campaigns and optimizing creative specifically for mobile is hopefully going to help with that. And then in terms of testing new creative, okay, so you've got a winner. It's working. It's working better than the rest of the stuff, and combined with the right targeting and the right bidding and budgeting strategy, that I think your winning ads can work. It can take you as far as you need to go. But of course, if you improve upon that, you're going to go even further, right? And when we talk about improving upon creative, I usually recommend doing two things at the same time each round of creative cycling. And like the first thing you want to do is tweak the winner. Take the winner creative, make it better, right? That's the easiest thing you can do because you've already got a winner creative. Now, if you just sort of tweak the first 5 seconds or tweak the first 30 seconds or tweak the call to action to just improve upon what you already have, then you've just taken the winner and made it better. And then the other thing to do is to test something totally new, like test a completely different type of ad, completely different type of idea, because it might fail miserably, but you might also find something that just gives you outsized results, right? So with your testing, always tweak on the winner and test something totally new would be my recommendation. Now, with regards to tweaking the winner, I like to recommend what I call a modular components strategy for YouTube ads. So here's a doc that we use internally, which I can share with you. This is a doc that we just send to clients or sends to clients' video producer to give them guidelines on how to make YouTube ads. We start with the technical requirements. This is just copy and pasted directly from Google. But what I want to talk to you is some of our recommendations down below. So I'll share this doc with you. It's got a bunch of stuff you probably already know and some stuff you might not know. So modular components, this is what I want to talk to you about. So the idea of modular components is the idea that you shoot your YouTube videos in a way where you can swap out the components of the video as needed in order to improve upon it. So here's an example script framework for a YouTube video ad that I recommend to clients sometimes. So like part 1 of your YouTube ad, it's always going to be about pattern interrupts. It's the first 5 seconds. You want to get in people's faces in the first 5 seconds, and you want to say hey, don't skip this ad. You want to be noticeable. You want to interrupt their pattern so that they know not to skip this ad, and you want to do that in the first 5 seconds of the video. That's going to be true for pretty much any YouTube ad creative. Part 2 is about disqualify or qualify in the first 5 to 30 seconds. In this script, this is where you qualify or disqualify. You qualify the right kind of user and disqualify the type of people who are never going to buy. I think these two things are pretty, like, I always recommend doing these, and I always recommend having a call to action at the end. Obviously, I'm kind of like flexible on part 3 and part 4. You can play around with these things, but part 1, 2, and 5, I think almost always should have these elements in there. But the idea of modular components is that you shoot your videos so that later on, when you find a winning video, you can go, okay, this video works really well. It has my best ROAS, but its CTR is a bit lower. I'd maybe like to bring up the CTR. How can I do that? I could try a new part 5 call to action, right? Or a very common thing to do with your winning video is to add further disqualification in the first 30 seconds. YouTube counts the ad view and you pay when people have watched past the 30-second mark, which means if you disqualify the wrong kind of user before the 30-second mark and you get them to stop watching before the 30-second mark, then you save money on making on ad views from people who are never going to buy anyway. So, you know, a simple disqualification could be like, if you're not serious about optimizing your sleep, right? Or if you're not, you know, if you don't want to spend, like, this is the wrong phrasing, but like if you don't want to spend money on improving your sleep, or if sleep optimization is not something you care about, stop watching now. It's like, that's the general idea of it. Obviously, the language you use is going to be better than that because you will have thought about it more than I just did. So modular components, right? Use the idea of modular components and use that to improve the winning ad. So how can we improve the winning ads? Like, I thought that the idea that I had for improving this was exactly what I just said, actually, is adding disqualification. I didn't see much disqualification in the first 30 seconds of the ad. So that, like, probably for this ad, I would be thinking of either improving the first 5 seconds, improving the pattern interrupt, or improving the first 30 seconds by adding a disqualification in there. First 5 seconds, like, that's pretty catchy. I like the way the word dirty just flashes up in there. That's really eye-catching. Maybe I would go with the disqualification idea on this one. But general theme here is, like, part 1 of ad optimization is taking your winner, tweaking it, think about the sort of components of your ad, and think about where you can improve just one component at a time. And then the second test idea, like, go for something totally new, right? And to do this, to find out or to figure out ideas on what you could do that's totally new, I normally like to just go out there and scan what's out there in the market. So a great tool you can use for this is VidTow. That's like a free ad spy tool, vidtow.com. Set up an account there and go start seeing what other ads are spending a lot at the moment, what other ads seem to be doing a lot, and what type of, ask yourself what type of ad is that, and use that for inspiration on part 2 of ad creative optimization, which is shooting something totally different in style to what you have currently. And one thing, like in this same document, actually, I've used that tool, VidTow, to grab a couple of examples of video ads that are spending a lot for e-commerce companies on YouTube right now. And one of the ones that's spending a lot on YouTube right now is this crazy product here. It's called Jaws-a-size.
After 30 days.
So I won't comment on what I think about the product, which seems to be something that you chew to give yourself a more handsome looking jawline. But what I will say is that this ad is racking up spend and views, so it seems to be doing something right for the company. And if we look at the style of the ad, it's like this sort of talking product review testimonial style ad. It's like this guy talking to camera the entire time, showing the usage of the ad, showing sort of customer examples interspersed, and he's like talking the whole time of the benefits and how it's changed his life. So there you go. That's just one idea. Like, could we do something like this for sleep masks? Like very sort of honest user review style, average Joe talking to camera, showing off the product, talking about why this has changed his or her life, interspersed with some customer examples of customers using the product as well. That's one idea for you. There are a couple of other ideas down here. Actually, this style, like the other ad that I've got down here, is another sort of talking to camera style video. This style video just you see it popping up all the time on YouTube these days. So talk like hero's journey, talking to camera, just like explaining the benefits, like person to person, eye contact. That type of video seems to be doing really well these days. This one here is sort of like Manscaped, like the sort of funny, high production value, viral type, humorous video. But yeah, go have a look at what else is doing right now. If you're lacking inspiration, or if you just want specific direction, then I would say model Jaws-a-size. Let's do a talking to camera review style video, but test something totally new. Let's go like absolutely new for the creative. Okay, landing pages. This is our landing page at the moment. Now with the landing pages, once again, I think what we want to do is improve what we have and also try something new. So improve what we have. I think the mindset currently on this landing page is very much, here's the thing you want, please go and buy it. Oh, you want a sleep mask? Here's a sleep mask. Here's the price. Buy it. This style of landing page works great for search and shopping, where the people that you're targeting are the people who are basically saying, I want a sleep mask right now. In sort of marketing lingo, this landing page feels very much to me like it's targeting bottom of the funnel, or if you have the IDA marketing funnel, awareness, interest, decision, action. This landing page is trying to target people who are in the decision phase of their buying journey. But with YouTube, most of the people that we're targeting are probably going to be in the awareness, maybe interest phase. And I don't think this landing page really speaks to people who are in the awareness phase, right? People in the, if we think about it like this, like the mindset of the landing page currently is bottom of the funnel, like here's the thing you want, buy it, right? But I think the mindset of the landing page should actually be like more awareness focused, more top of funnel focused. It should be, oh, you're kind of curious? All right, cool. Let me fill in the blanks and continue to persuade you as you scroll down the page, right? It's top of, like, it's bottom funnel versus top of funnel. What we have now is a bottom funnel landing page, and I think what we need for YouTube is a top of funnel landing page. It's decision versus awareness. Like, we have a decision focused landing page, we need an awareness focused landing page. So what I think we should be doing here is like some simple steps you can take to make this a more awareness focused landing page. Is like your headline here, it's Manta Sleep Mask, it's the product name, whereas what I would like to see, or what's often recommended on a more awareness focused landing page, is to instead have a headline that's sort of benefits focused. So what's the benefit they're going to get by getting your sleep mask? You know, improve your sleep quality, or triple the quality of your sleep, or whatever, right? Headline to convey a benefit, and then also like stripping out the navigation here. Like you've got a lot of bleed off points right here in the top bar navigation, and typically what works better with YouTube ad landing pages is when we strip out and minimize the navigation and the bleed out points, and we just make this landing page hyper focused on whatever is our call to action, right? So I would be stripping out the navigation, and I would be creating a specific landing page for YouTube where we can do some A/B testing specifically for your YouTube traffic. At the moment, this is your product page. It's the same page that you're sending other forms of traffic to. But other forms of traffic have different levels of intent, like search and shopping are bottom of the funnel. YouTube is more top of the funnel, and that's why YouTube needs a different style of landing page, and it needs its own landing page URL where we can do its own A/B testing. So I'll be moving this to a different URL where we can do A/B testing specifically for YouTube traffic. And then I'll be testing things like stripping out the navigation, a benefit-focused headline, maybe different imagery, like with a person in there using the sleep mask. I would be doing all of that in a testing environment where we're testing specifically for YouTube traffic. And then with regards to trying something new, what I see working a lot with our other YouTube ad accounts, and what I see working a lot just in the space, is the idea of sending YouTube traffic to a classic advertorial or blogvatorial style page. And this is very much in line with the idea of sort of more awareness focused, being more awareness focused with your landing page. Like an advertorial or a blogvatorial, the whole idea of that style of page is to persuade some more, is to sell some more, is to convince some more, it's to take you on a journey from being in the awareness stage of the funnel to being in the decision phase of the funnel, right? And you can think of your landing page as taking someone through that journey as they scroll down, right? Like a place to start could be actually some of your blog posts, and then customizing like the more blog post style page that you have, taking one of these and then just making it into more of a landing page by adding in call to actions. Like this blog post here, 7 tips to stop sleepless nights before they start. I mean, one idea is that you could have something like this, and one of the tips could be to use a sleep mask, and then there could be like links to buy the sleep mask right now. And that's one idea which I'm not super partial to, because I don't like the idea of having 6 other things on the page to distract. Another idea for an advertorial or blogvatorial page, and this could sync up really nicely with the new creative that you deliver. Some of these ideas that I've got here would probably need totally fresh creative, so you'd need to create creative and landing page fresh for these ideas. But like something like, imagine if your landing page was an advertorial or blogvatorial style page, and the theme of the page was more like, this one hack will triple your sleep quality. And what do you know? The one hack is using a sleep mask, and what do you know? Here's an awesome sleep mask you can buy. Or how to stop sleepless nights before they start, right? I think this headline I kind of got inspiration from one of your blog posts. From this blog post here. Okay, I'm getting a delivery right in the middle of this call. That's great. All that. Okay. Yeah, so as you can see, it was actually this blog post here that I got inspiration from for that title. But the general idea is to model your blog pages as a starting point, and think about the idea of having an advertorial or blogvatorial style page. We could have creative that syncs up with that as well. Something like, I think something like this one, why using a sleep mask will triple your sleep quality. Something along those lines probably could be usable with the current creative that we have. Whereas something like this one hack will triple your sleep quality, and then an advertorial or blogvatorial style page talking about the benefits of sleep masks and how those improve your sleep quality. Something like this page would probably require specific video ad creative that syncs up with this as well. And all of this could be done as part of the try something new. So exactly the same as with your ad creative. We've got like a 2-part strategy of improving on what we already have and also trying something new. So that's it. That's everything I've got for you on targeting and creative, and also device segmentation we threw in there very quickly as well. Hope this has been super useful for you, and yeah, let me know how you get on with all of this feedback. What did you think of the video audit, guys and girls? Did you get something useful out of that? Today we discussed making mobile-first campaigns, creating amazing video ads for e-commerce, and how to optimize your video ads and landing pages for success. If you like this video, then hit the subscribe button below. My YouTube ads case study is not finished and there will be more videos in this series, so do subscribe if you want to stay updated on that. And if you want to find out more about my PPC agency and how we can maybe help you, head over to bigflare.com.